Hey folks, it is October the 7th, and today we're going to talk about chapters 42 and 43 out of our book. This is going to end the section on the Normans today, and I'm giving the class a little bit of time to go over it before we begin. Is everybody done reading? Hey, great. All right, so we have the following terms up on the board. We have Robert Guiscard, Roger I, who is his brother, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, and the Norman character and influences. So if you could please turn to your neighbor and discuss these terms real quick, and then we will begin. Go ahead. Ah, yes.
I wonder why
Indeed.
Oh. No.
Hey, folks, did you already discuss the terms on the board?
Maybe.
Literally.
We're just too lightning fast.
Too lightning fast. All right. We'll go ahead and begin. All right, so let me show you my images for the day. So,
I'm not that short.
Yes, you are.
you are.
really are.
All right, so moving her along.
I don't care.
Hey, folks. Hey, it's okay. We're going to be nice to each other. All right, so here's a painting that obviously came much later of Robert Guiscard. He is going to be he's going to be adventure Norman, and a lot of Normans remember. Yeah, it's a very it's a fighting society, right? And so it has that Viking conquest spirit.
Oh.
Well, a lot of Normandy, you're going to have a problem where the way that they do, like the nobility does inheritance for land, it goes to the firstborn. That's something we're going to see later on. Well, the firstborn male, so we're going to see with feudal societies, right? And so the thing is, though, he's not next in line for his family's property. So he takes what little wealth he has and he goes to Italy because down there's a lot of cash. The Italian city-states are going to be very well ran. They're going to have a lot of money. They're going to hire out mercenaries. And Normans and Vikings made pretty good mercenaries. And while he's down there, though, he's going to round up a lot of his fellow Norman mercenaries, and they're going to go out and conquer southern Italy and Sicily, much of which had been taken by the Muslims years in advance. And so they're going to see this as a prime target, a place to get conquest and gain land for themselves. He's eventually, I think he's going to become a duke of one of these areas, and he's going to give some of the land to the Pope because he wants to be a good, pious guy. And his brother, Roger I, will become the first crowned king of Sicily. And so they're going to combine Sicily and southern Italy into one kingdom, and they're going to call it the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. And so this is going to be a society though at first you had Muslims take it from Italians, and then these guys are going to come in and take it from Muslims. It's going to be kind of like a melting pot society. You're going to have people from the Byzantine Empire, Greece. You have Italians and Sicilians. You're going to have Normans. And they're not going to like wipe out and drive out the Muslims. They're going to allow many of them to stay. So a lot of people are going to intermarry, have a lot of cultural exchanges and stuff like that, much to the chagrin of others later on. So here's his brother, Roger I. This is definitely much more medieval. So you see a cardinal, his attendant, Roger putting a crown on somebody. Of course, there's the guards. Very fancy shield there. Fancy. And so, like I said, here we have a typical Norman battle dress. They got the pointy little caps on. They got the chain mail as they're making their conquest through Sicily. And of course, Sicily is that island that's on just off the boot of Italy down south. It's very independent back in the ancient Greek days, but it will be integrated into Rome during the height of the Roman Empire, especially after the Carthaginian Wars. Here we go right here. So this is going to be the Kingdom of the Two Italys. It's going to be right next door to the Papal States. And so later on, we're going to see they're actually going to have some trouble between these two areas, as the Papal States at one point are going to want to expand militarily, while the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies are not going to really want that. But that's going to be something that's going to happen later in the Renaissance. So moving on from there. So Normans out there conquesting before there's no more Normans. So what did we say about good old Robert? What's up with him? Hey, Robert, what's up with Robert?
I knew you were going to do that.
You have a gift. Gotta check the book. He was a Norman adventurer who
he united the Normans that were in Italy.
Yeah. Adventurer. I'm going to spell. Who united the Norman mercenaries in Italy. What are they going to do next? And then what happened next? It can be anybody. You may remember. Hunter Ward, you remember? You're up front.
What?
What did Robert do besides just getting a band of like fighting men together?
You remember someone else, but I think you went to Sicily, or was that one?
They both did it. They both did it. Yeah, yeah. So helps conquer, or say take Sicily from Muslims. So yeah, like if there's one thing you'll like notice about Southern Italians and say like Sicilians is they're a lot darker complexion than say like Italians in middle and northern Italy, and some of it has to do with like closer to the Mediterranean, but also it has to do with it just genetic exchange with people from like North Africa and Middle East and Greece and stuff like that. So their complexion's a little darker. But yeah, that's Sicily. All right, so they're also short. So Roger the First. So what's up with Roger the First? So, hey David, what's up with Roger the First?
He was also the other person in New York.
Yeah, and he was brother of Robert. You have a brother, Robert. Congratulations. So, Robert's brother.
Jordan.
Helped take Sicily and crown king, which is pretty cool. That's a good conquest if you get the crown. That's like the whole point, right? You're like, hooray, yes! And people were happy because they drove out the heathens and all that stuff. So it was seen as a net gain by like the Pope. So they weren't too comfortable with having armed people of another religion next door, especially as we're going to see later during the Crusades. All right, so got that down. Hey, what about the kingdom of the two Sicilies? We don't need too much information on this, but any like particular points on this one? Yes, sir.
They
Combined, yeah. So we're just gonna say it's basically southern Italy. Did it say anything about the nature of the place? And Sicily combined. Yeah. And ruled by Normans. And so the whole point here is that the Normans, that they were Vikings, they're going to be people who are going to go around and they're going to do a lot of
It's been around since for 150 years.
yeah. It's going to be kind of lasting, not that lasting, but kind of lasting. So yeah, like 150 years. But the whole point is that the Norman people are going out there, they're conquering, and when they conquer, they're establishing monarchies that are going to be normal, feudalistic, crowned king monarchies, where the firstborn gets the crown. They have their knights and their serfs, and they have their little fiefs and manors where the lords live with their little peasants. So they're going to spread a lot what we think of as medieval culture around Europe. Wow. Yeah, they're the ones who did it, better or worse. Here we come. So, all right. On that point, the Norman character. So this is just like a broad, generic thing. So what were it's just sum up that last summative subchapter. So what was something that the Normans tended to do?
take over.
Yeah. So they were like martial. They were like fighters. Yeah. So they loved to fight. What else?
They settled in a lot of places.
Yeah, and then they settled. What they do after they settled?
Combined with like the people already living there.
Yeah, assimilation. And when you assimilate, you become like everybody else there. You become part of that culture, right? That's what tends to happen usually in America. You'll have like first generation immigrants. They tend to keep most of their culture, but in that second generation, they keep some of the old culture to become more American. And by third generation, usually it's like indistinguishable, you know. So assimilation and eventually vanish, pretty much. There is no like. So like the Normans in Normandy become Frenchmen, the Normans in England become English, the Normans in Italy become Italian, so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, really short and sweet today. When we come back next time, we're going to start talking about the particulars of feudalism. So like how exactly does that hierarchy from the king, who essentially owns everything, and he basically leases everything else out to his lords. And then the lords allow the stinky little poor serfs, my ancestors, work on their land, provided they follow the rules. So that's gonna end it for our short little lecture for today. So we're gonna come back next time. We're gonna go over chapters 44 and 45. Should be a little longer next time as we talk about feudalism. Test next Thursday. By Friday, I'll let you know the topics for that test. Next week, we'll not have a lecture on Wednesday because I'm going to be out helping 11th graders have the PS18. And then, but we will review on Tuesday. No school on Monday, so no lecture then, right? I even got the day off. I just found out, huh? All right, yay
We
me.
don't have school Mondays.
Yeah, it's Columbus Day, or was it Native People Day? Or some of us call it Think a Conquistador Day? All right, hey, anyways, we're going to end it with that, and I'll see you later, kids. Or not. You'll see me.
If